for Garrett Taylor, batting ninth and catching for Jewett City, number 10, Bryce Doyle. And the coaches and remaining players of Jewett City. And for Bristol, this game was a 20-6 zone 1 record. They are 22-7 overall. Leading off and playing shortstop number 3, Noah went to World.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Muzzy Field right here in beautiful Bristol, Connecticut on a glorious day for some American Legion baseball. Critical matchup here and Pod D between Jewett City and Bristol. It's quite simple. The winner of today's games or game, depending on what happens here in game number 1, will move on to the Super Regional Tournament, which we'll have full coverage of beginning on Saturday in both South Windsor and at Seppa Field in Meriden. So Jewett City coming in with a 17-10 record out of Pod D here today, trying to win this first game to force an if game later today at about 4:30 or so would be the estimated time. For Bristol, they have other plans. They'd like to win and go home and rest up for the Super Regional. They come in as a team in the driver's seat right now as you take a look at it, as they get a chance to play here at home. Jewett City had to play last night. They eked out a 3-2 win over East Hartford, and certainly an exciting game, which East Hartford in the top of the 7th inning put a little pressure on. They got a double, tried to stretch it to a triple, and, well, the runner was thrown out, and that ended things right there, and Jewett City is back here again. We'll pause for the playing of the national anthem.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation.
President Roosevelt signs Bill of Rights.
I've always appreciated the American Legion.
My gratitude to the American
Thank
Legion.
you all of the American Legion.
Well, we have millions of veterans that are members of our organization.
Thank you.
The American Legion, celebrating a legacy of service to America. Find out more at legion.org.
All right, welcome right back here. They played the national anthem. We'll run down the starting lineups for both these teams. Jewett City at 17-10, we mentioned, and their leadoff hitter, the center fielder today, Austin Drabinski. Batting second will be George Etzel. He'll also play second base. The pitcher will hit third. That's Bryce Molesky. Hitting fourth in that cleanup spot, the right fielder, Max Gregory. Jack Espinoza will bat fifth and play left field today. Nick Gilou, the third baseman, will hit sixth. Nate Yanovich, the shortstop in the 7th slot. Hitting eighth will be Drew Taylor. He'll man first base, and the catcher will bat ninth. That is Bryce Doyle, and that is their lineup. They're going without the designated hitter. We'll set the defense for you now for Bristol. Bristol, of course, as we mentioned, in the driver's seat right now, and certainly should be an interesting matchup for him here today, and they can get the job done. They will certainly represent very effectively out of zone number 1. Bristol, of course, hosting here today at this beautiful ballpark. 18-6 record out of the Northern Division. Finished tied with Simsbury. Simsbury won the tiebreaker. And now they're here on, obviously, to this American Legion play here today. We bring you 3 games, maybe more. Jewett City at Bristol, the game you're watching now. North Haven at Stamford, that game underway at Cubetta Stadium. And Aiden Blank has the call for us there a little bit later on. Trumbull at Naugatuck, and Steve Riley will have the call. And we'll see if there's games involved at other locations also, as their scenario remains quite similar to what we have here. So take a look at the road to this we'll call it championship game in Pod D. It's been interesting for Bristol. 5-4 win over East Hartford on day 1. Jewett City shut down Glastonbury 6-0. And then it was East Hartford over Glastonbury 4-2, and Bristol 11-4 over Jewett City. So these teams meet again. We told you about yesterday's affair and the reason why we're back here again today, as Drabinski is at the plate. Trevor Mays out in the mound, the right-hander for Bristol, trying to do his work. And the right-hander's pitch as a ground ball hit down to Plantamuro is going to be cut off by Goulet, the third baseman. Nice play there. Good decision to get that slow roller to the infield grass. And Drabinski is retired 5-3, so quickly one down, brings up George Etzel. So a day off and a nice rest for Bristol. And obviously for Jewett City, they had to use some of their pitching staff last night to eke out that win. Let's see how deep they can go here today. So Mays now facing Etzel. Etzel, the second baseman. Sassu behind the plate, catching the balls and strikes. That pitch is fouled straight back. Ryan Green at the bag at first. Evan Bouchard at second base. Plantamuro is at the shortstop spot. Goulet, you just met him, made that fine defensive play. He is at third. We'll set the outfielders in a moment as the pitch is a tad high. Alec DiLoretto in left field. Corey Fredette, the center fielder, and Joshua Nohili is in right field defensively. No wind at all here at this beautiful ballpark with a very spacious outfield. Here comes the pitch, and it's a strike call, about letter high, to George Etzel. Count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes. We're just underway. Here comes the pitch to the plate. Going to be fouled off to our right. So the scenario, Bristol wins. We're out of here today. If Jewett City were to be victorious, we'll play one more right here at this beautiful ballpark. Mays into the windup of the 1-2 pitch, and that's going to be grounded foul. Third base side, the home of Bristol on the third base side here today, and on the first base side is Jewett City. Outfield playing just about straight away. Mays looking in for that sign from the catcher, Sassu. Wants the pitch to the inside part of the plate. Here comes a 1-2, and he missed the spot. Low and away, and the count goes even. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Etzel. Mays missed down on the dirt. The count goes full 3-2. Mays has played in 8 games coming in. This will be his 9th overall. His 8th as a starter. 45 and 2/3 innings of work. Pitch fouled off. Count remains 3-2. In those 40 1/3 innings, he's given up just 30 hits, 5 doubles, and a couple of triples. He has struck out 21, ERA at 1.74. And that pitch missed low and away. That's ball 4. And Etzel with a good at bat will make the trot down to the bag at first. So 1 on, 1 out. Molesky now stepping up to the plate. Pretty good ride for Jewett City to get here. If you were to Google that, it's well over an hour. They actually play their home games, I understand, now in Worcester, Massachusetts. So that kind of gives you an idea where they might be. Molesky, a left-handed hitter. He's the pitcher today, trying to help his own cause, and the pitch down at his feet. Mays right now trying to find his rhythm. Got the first out quickly on the ground ball. Then he walked to Etzel. Molesky wiggles the bat. Mays from the stretch and the pitch. Strike call. The count goes, actually it's going to be a ball. The count goes 2 balls and no strikes. Plenty of action around the state today. We'll bring you play from Stamford, from Naugatuck, and of course here in Bristol. There's games in Waterford. Here comes the pitch to the plate. Interesting matchup in Southington today. Some baseball in Cheshire. Foul ball over towards the dugout. A little protective screening in front of the, well, just beyond the dugout in the area for the media, the photographers down there. And Sassu gave it a good effort. Count of 2 balls and 1 strike. Molesky to dig back into that left-hander's batter's box. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Mays looking in for the side. Edsel with a lean away from the bag at first. Short lead over there. Green trying to hold him tight. Ground ball hit up the middle. Plantamuro will field it. They got it onto the bag at second to Bouchard, and they're going to rule him out there. The drop of the ball was after the play was made. So Molesky reaching on the fielder's choice. 6-4 on the putout. There was really no chance to make a double play on that. So Max Gregory, the right fielder, will step in for Jewett City. The cleanup hitter with a runner at first base, 2 down. They'll throw over to first. Green had to go scramble to get that. No wind at all here at Muzzy Field in Bristol. It's a pretty good poke to get it out of here, close to 400 or so. Lowered away. Ball gets away from Sassu, and Molesky alertly goes down in the second. Sassu threw it anyhow, and lucky Molesky was hustling into the bag down there. I believe they'll rule that one a wild pitch. Mays looking in. Sassu to set the target. Right down the heart of the plate here. Outfield not playing all that deep. Ground ball hit to the right. Long go for Bouchard. Able to knock it down to the outfield grass. They're going to send the runner home. Here comes the throw and not in time. Alert play by Molesky. He was off and going. That's going to go as a base hit and an RBI for Max Gregory. So Jewett City jumps out to a quick lead here. In the top of the first, just pure hustle. How important was that wild pitch, pass ball? Very close to being either. Putting Molesky into scoring position. Then Gregory able to just find enough of that outfield grass. Good effort by Bouchard to try to get to it. Espinoza now to the plate. Left-handed hitting left fielder. Mays pitch. That's going to be golf foul down the left field side. Espinoza attended Norwich Free Academy, graduated this past spring, 2019. And the pitch. Missed outside, the count goes 1-1. Mays using up a lot of pitches here in the top half of the first, trying to get this team out. Been a walk, fielder's choice, and a single to produce a run. Gallo in the on-deck circle. Here comes Mays with a big leg kick, and that's going to be powered high up in the air and foul off to the left field side towards the old press box. Missed that place up there about 355,000 steps up in the air. It is a workout to get up there. Now we're perched right behind home plate in a beautifully built press box here with air conditioning, 2 rows of seating. Grandiose. There goes the runner, and the pitch is hit high in the air to the center fielder. Fredette coming on in, and he'll make the catch for the inning's final out. So some damage is done. A run goes up on the board, 1 run on just 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base. We'll be back with the bottom of the first, and Jewett City will take a lead to the field after a half. We'll be right back.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
but most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
You're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
You also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
All right, welcome right back here to Muzzy Field as Bristol will come to the plate now here in the bottom of inning number 1, trailing on the scoreboard 1-0 as Molesky goes for his warm-up tosses out in the mound. Molesky scored the first run of the game here for Jewett City so with some good hustle, getting around the base path. Bryce from Griswold High School, graduated in 2018. He's a veteran on the squad at 5'10", 170 pounds. Plantamuro will lead things off here for Bristol. No other shortstop. Corey Fredette, the center fielder, will hit second. McGregor Goulet, the third baseman, in the third slot. Ryan Green, the first baseman, will hit cleanup today. Joshua Nohilly, the right fielder, he'll bat fifth. Evan Bouchard, the second baseman, in the sixth slot. They use a designated hitter. Stephen Wachowski will bat seventh. And batting eighth will be the left fielder, Alec DiLoretto. Batting ninth, the catcher, Carson Sassu. As Molesky finished with his warm-up throws, the ball will go around the diamond as is tradition here in the world of baseball. Sharp-looking uniforms, by the way, on both these teams. Jewett City with the white backs of their jerseys with the blue fronts. Got the gold numbers on the back, their logo in gold on the front of those smart-looking jerseys. And, of course, the familiar red of Bristol as they come up to the plate with the white pants, a little pinstripe of red down the leg. Plantamuro stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of inning number 1. Swings at the first pitch, and that's fouled off. First base side and out of play. Bryce Doyle behind the plate. He'll catch the balls and strikes for Jewett City. Derek Taylor down at first. George Etzel at the bag at second. The shortstop is Nate Yanovich, and at third is Nick Kalou. Jack Espinoza, the left fielder. Dravinsky in center. That ball tap foul third base side, and Max Gregory is the right fielder for Jewett City. Not a bad crowd here considering the start time here today, a 1 p.m. start. Mickey Mantle baseball taking over Muzzy Field later tonight. So trying to squeeze this one in and potentially one more here today. It's scenic beyond the outfield fence here at Muzzy Field in Bristol. It's rimmed with pine trees and more. Beautiful park in the distance. Into the windup is Molesky, and the offering is again popped up and fouled off towards Muzzy Street off to our right. Not advisable to park on Muzzy Street if you come on out here to watch some baseball. You could make a quick call to your insurance company. Molesky with a nod of the head, ready to deal. The 0-2. And he missed outside, and the count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes. He thought he had a strikeout there. Got to earn that strike zone. Plantamuro batting at .309 on the year. had 97 plate appearances coming into today's play. Special thanks to Paul LaFleur for putting together all the statistical information for us. Does a wonderful job at the head of Bristol American Legion play. Our state director, David Greenleaf, in attendance here today. Here comes the offering, fouled straight back. Muro really putting up a good battle here, forcing Molesky to use up some pitches. Of course, they have a pitch count. The limit is 105 in a game. And then you got to take a few days off just to simplify things. And then you work your way down. That pitch missed, and the count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the offering. Missed outside. The count's going to go full 3-2. Muro out of Eastern Connecticut State University, graduated from high school in 2018, 5'10", 170, one of the veterans. Been around this program for a long time, and certainly well-deserved accolades for his commitment to American Legion play. Count full 3-2. Muro leading things off here in the bottom of 1, and he'll drive the ball into the outfield grass in left center field. Espinosa will get it there, and that's just a great at bat. Absolutely spectacular at bat. You got a runner on here for Bristol in the bottom of 1. Muro just took that pitch with some authority out towards left center field. And now Corey Fredette will step in, the center fielder. Fredette batting an even 300. Has 5 doubles in the year. Be interesting to see how aggressive Bristol will be on the base pass here, down by a run in the first. Muro, he can steal him. He's got 12 in the year. Molesky will take a peek at the runner at first base. Here's the pitch, low and away. Snap throw down to the bag at first by Doyle, and back in plenty of time is Noah Plantamuro. Galeity on deck circle here for Bristol. Molesky working deliberately out in the mound. Here comes a 1-0. They were showing bunt, pitch in for the strike with the bat pulled back by Fredette. As we mentioned, these two teams did meet at Muzzy Field on Sunday. 11-4 win for Bristol, so they did put up double digits against Jewett City. Molesky's pitch. That's a strike. Another throw down to the bag at first, knocked down by Taylor. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fredette was showing bunt there. Pitch pretty good, low and away. Difficult to get a bat on. Muro now measuring that lead away with a count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Molesky. And it's going to be bunted. First base side. It's going to move the runner along, and Molesky can't pick the ball up, and everybody's safe. Well, a bit of a surprise element, wasn't it, with the bunt with 2 strikes by Fredette, and he got it down. Everybody is safe, and I believe that'll be an error on the pitcher, E1. So that will go as an error. And now you got 2 on, and Goulet stepping up to the plate with nobody out. Molesky just couldn't pick it up, had plenty of time. Got to it quickly enough. Well, some days the old age just settles in, you can't bend over. Another bunt, first base side. Well done. Molesky this time will pick it up and move it onto the bag at first. So that's a sacrifice bunt to push runners into scoring position. And he got one down. So Goulet lays it down to the first base side. It brings up the cleanup hitter Ryan Green. Good chance for Green now. Green batting at .304. Has 10 RBIs in the season. And the cleanup hitter, the first baseman, with 2 in scoring position. Plantamuro at the bag at third. At second is Fredette, with just one down. Jewett City leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. And the pitch to the plate. Strike call over the outside corner, and that is certainly good for the confidence of Bryce Molesky. Molesky will kick up some dirt. Outfielders playing with a bit of a shift. You got Drabinski, the center fielder, maybe a step or two towards right center. Right fielder Gregory, a little deeper than left fielder Espinoza. Middle infielders are back. And the pitch to the plate. Up high, and the count goes 1-1. Try to bring you some updates from Stamford if we can. And other locations along the way as things really starting to fall into place here in tournament play. That ball, look out, fouled off towards the first base side. And had the young men of Jewett City in the dugout scrambling for cover. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes here to Ryan Green. A couple of teams have already punched a ticket into the Super Regional, including Hamden with a nice win yesterday over Washington. They had to go to limit to the if game to get it done. Washington with a dramatic 7th inning. Toppled Hamden in game 6 of their pod, forcing a game 7. That's what Jewett City's trying to do today here. Bristol at the plate right now. Runners at second and third with just 1 out. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Green. The pitch, and he belts that into center field. Playable for Drabinski. Makes the catch. They'll tag the runner. And the throw will come to third base. Well done there. Defensively by Jewett City not to allow Fredette to move up a bag. So Plantamuro scores. That's a sac fly and an RBI for Ryan Green. Put that out to center field. Not to score at 1. Out of town, North Haven with a lead over Stamford by the score of 3-0. That game into the bottom of inning number 2. No Hilly to the plate. Joshua, the right fielder. Got 2 down, runner down at second base, and Fredette got decent speed, does he? Molesky, the offering. I like those socks being worn down there by Hilly. Looks like stars and stripes on those socks. Need binoculars to see that far, however. He's ahead in the count, a ball, no strikes. The offering. Hit hard, but right at the second baseman, and it's caught by George Etzel. That's a line drive. That's an out, and that's going to do it in the inning. That was a big hit by the leadoff guy, Plantamuro. He set the stage, so they score 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 error. It was crucial, and 1 left on base. We completed 1 full here, and we are tied at 1. We're back with more on SportingNewsCT.com right after this.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
The American Legion. We're veterans serving America.
The American Legion.
All right, welcome right back as we continue with our coverage of American Legion baseball here in the gorgeous state of Connecticut. And Galoo to the plate to lead things off here. Number 6 hitter in the lineup swings at the first pitch. Plantamuro will field it, and the shortstop will swing it on the green. And on a pitch, it's 1 out, 6-3 if you score at home. So Trevor Mays gets an easy out here. He was touched up for a run back in the first inning of play. Yanovich now stepping in. Nate, the shortstop for Jewett City. They traded runs in the first. Each team with a base hit. Pitch in there for the strike call from Mays. Slow curveball. Nathaniel Yanovich hits a dribbler. Could be some trouble. Bouchard will chase it. Will throw over the ducking Mays to first, and they get Yanovich. Nice work there by Bouchard. Smart play by Mays to get out of the way. And he got 2 down. Brings up Derek Taylor. So Taylor, who attends Three River Community College out of Griswold, graduated 2018. With the bases empty, will take a strike. Mays looking for a nice and easy 1-2-3 inning. Nods ahead, wants to work quickly. Sassu will set the target. And the pitch low and away down in the dirt. And the count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. Outfielders just about straight away. Very comfortable temperatures today. Probably about, 75 refreshing degrees. And Mays with the leg kick. The offering fouled straight back towards us. 7-inning game here today. The Mays pitch. Swing and a miss. And he collects his first strikeout with a curveball of Derek Taylor. Pretty pitch. 1-2-3 they go. We'll be back with the bottom of 2. This game is tied at 1.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
The American Legion. We're veterans serving America.
The American Legion.
All right, welcome right back as we move on to the bottom of inning number 2. Once again out of town and game played at Cubetta Stadium. It's North Haven leading Stamford at this point by the score of 3-0. Stamford with a win would move on to the Super Regional. If North Haven holds on, they will play an if game a little bit later on here today. A whole slew of games taking place throughout the state, as we mentioned. We'll run them all down for you. South Windsor plays at Waterford, 4:30 today. Interesting matchup there, Tri-Town and West Hartford. That game gets underway at Hall High School at 2 p.m. Interesting matchup between RCP and Southington, and that game scheduled to start about 4:30 today. And then a little bit later on, we'll have Danbury and Cheshire. That's a 2 o'clock start in the South Division. And, of course, we have Trumbull and Naugatuck with a 3:30 start here today. That's pitch low and away to Bouchard. Count quickly goes 2 balls and no strikes. I believe they moved that start time up at Naugatuck from 4:30 to 3:30. We'll have to let Steve Riley know about that. Count 2 balls, 1 strike to Bouchard, leading it off here in the bottom of inning number 2. Trubinsky is shaded towards right center. Got a big gap in left center field there. Molesky's pitch. Ball hit high in the air to the right fielder. Gregory going on back, twisting and finding it and making the catch, and Bouchard is retired for an out. Bouchard just got underneath that, took it the opposite way, coming in as a 305 hitter. As a team, Bristol batting .275. It's going to bring up the big guy now. So Warkowski will step in. He's hitting .232. And that's 7 slot today. Pitching there for the strike. Warkowski with 5 RBIs on the year. He has walked 7 times, so he finds ways to get on. Pitch outside, the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Molesky looking in for the sign. Into the windup. Right-hander's pitch up high, and the count goes 2 balls, 1 strike as he buzzed that about eye-high. DiLoretto in the on-deck circle. Teams traded runs in the first if you're just tuning in. Count goes 2-2 with a swing and a miss. Pulled the chain on there a little bit to Molesky. Changed him up some. Change of speeds, change of level. Working him up and down. Doyle has set the target behind the plate. Come right at him. It's fouled off. Koski fouls that off. Right field side. Espinoza, the left fielder. Trubinsky in center. Gregory, the right fielder. First baseman Taylor playing well back behind the bag at first. Count's going to go full as that curveball missed outside. Tried to tickle that outside corner, did Molesky. Gave up a base hit, made a fielding error in the first, and Molesky helped lead to the Bristol run. Sac fly brought it in. A walk actually helped to set things up for Jewett City in the top half of the first. Along with a wild pitch. Warkowski trying to get on base. Molesky with other thoughts on the pitch, fouled on. Good job by Warkowski to foul that away. Molesky trying to find his groove out in the mound. Now he's ready to deal. Foul straight back again. Bryce Molesky, 3-2 pitch. That ball hit in the left field for a base hit. That is a good at bat by Warkowski. And he hit that pretty well. Plantamuro and Warkowski now with the 2 hits for Bristol. Both solid hits out to left field. So you got 1 on and 1 out. DiLoretto stepping up to the plate, the left fielder. So DiLoretto with a chance. Trying to get something going with one down here in this inning. Molesky's offering. Punch foul off to the right field side. And now in the top of the third at Stamford, 3-0. North Haven continues the lead there. DiLoretto with one out and one on. Behind the count 0-1. Fouled off, now 0-2. You got Sassu, the catcher, number 9 hitter in the lineup for Bristol in the on-deck circle. DiLoretto batting .292, by the way, with a couple of doubles. Has 11 RBIs. Nice stop behind the plate by Doyle. No advance by the runner. Koski not really a threat to steal a base. Derek Taylor trying to hold him tight to the bag over there. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count, and the pitch. Hit hard, but right at the third baseman. They get the out at the bag at second, and the throw on the first, not in time. Etzel kind of stumbled after making that play. He may have tripped over the base, but they do get the force out, so DiLoretto will reach on the fielder's choice. Koski retired 5-4 for the inning's second out, and it brings up Carson Sassu, the catcher now. He's batting at .290 with 4 RBIs. This is his 51st plate appearance of the season. Pops it up to the backstop and beyond. The count quickly goes 0-1. Top of the order on deck. Tamiro in that on deck circle. Foul tip, they say. Count goes 0-2. Trying to check the swing with Sassu. That was one of the better pitches thrown there by Molesky as that turned low and away from the right-handed hitter. Bryce Molesky looking for his first strikeout of the contest. Comes 0-2, and he got it there. Spins one over, and that's his first strikeout, so the hit doesn't affect Jewett City at all. There's no runs, 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 left. And through 2 innings, Bristol has left 2 on. We'll be back with the top of 3, and your score here, 1-1. Jewett City and Bristol.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people.
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
You're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to
We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to
All right, right back here at Bristol's Muzzy Field. We move on to the top of inning number 3 in a 1-1 game. 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 error for Jewett City, and for Bristol, 1 run on 2 hits. They have not committed an error. It'll be Bryce Doyle, the number 9 hitter, to lead it off here versus Trevor Mays in this top half of inning number 3. Dravinsky and Etzel to follow. So at 9-1-2 in the batting order. for Jewett City. Out of town, North Haven has increased their lead to 4-0 over Stamford. And the Mays pitch. Ball chop foul, third base side. Goulet, the third baseman. Plantamuro, the shortstop. Bouchard at second, and Green, he's at the bag at first. Sassu behind the plate. Nohilly, Fredette. DiLoretto in the outfield from left to right for Bristol. Mays the deal. The 0-1. Big swing and a miss, and the count goes 0-2 to Bryce Doyle as he got his money's worth on that swing. Doyle was trying to plow that ball out of here. Mays the deal. The 0-2 goes up high with it, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. A baseball game starting a couple of locations at 2 o'clock here today. Pitch down a little low. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mays into the windup in the 2-2. Hit very high in the air. Center fielder coming on. Shortstop is out. Center fielder's ball. Fredette will put it away. So Doyle is down on a sky-high fly ball. Brings up the top of the order, and Austin Drabinski up for the second time. Grounded out 5-3 his first. Mays took easy care of him. Pitch foul back. Fouled off. Mays doing a good job getting ahead of the hitters here in this half inning. 0-2. Count goes 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes went out, nobody on the base paths. As Mays sets the deal. Another high fly ball, short. Center field coming on is Fredette. Nearly the identical spot as the Doyle fly ball out. You have 2 down. 2 lazy flies brings up Etzel. He walked, was eventually forced off the base pass. So Mays looking in for the side from Sassu, looking for his second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. That pitch outside, check of a swing by Etzel. Molesky in the on-deck circle. Mays looking quite comfortable out in the mound, just over 20 pitches coming into this 3rd inning. I believe Molesky's up into the 40s already, if I heard that correctly. And the 2-0 pitch. Strike call over the outside corner. The count now quickly travels to 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 down and nobody on. Top of the 3rd. 1-1 you score both runs. One aside, scored back in the 1st. Into the windup. The pitch, Mays in there for the strike, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Etzel. Folks still making their way into the ballpark. Really nice crowd here. Of course, historic Muzzy Field. Been around for a long, long time. Actually, there's a book written about the history of Muzzy Field. You should look it up, check it out. I have a copy somewhere. I'm going to have to dust it off. Here comes a 2-2. Little check swing roller. This could be trouble. Goulet will charge it barehanded. Throws. Not in time. Green able to just knock it back into the field of play. It didn't get past, so Etzel's going to come up with an infield single. That was a difficult play for Goulet, but McGregor gave it quite an effort. And that is the second hit of the game now for Jewett City, each team with 2. Molesky stepping in, reached on a fielder's choice and scored back in the first. So the pitcher going up against Trevor Mays. Mays with a long, hard look in for the sign from Sassu. He's ready to deal. Missed inside with a curveball. The count goes 1 ball and no strikes. Short lead away from first by Etzel. Etzel's body language is leaning him back towards first base, so he's not going anywhere as the pitch is in for the strike. What a way to spend a beautiful summer day here at Muzzy Field. Can't be here, check out all the other locations where there's Legion baseball being played today, high quality baseball. This weekend, of course, you can head out to South Windsor where they have a great concession stand. You can go to Seppa Field in Meriden. Rotary Field in South Windsor, Seppa, and in Meriden, they do a nice job at their little their grill. They cook to order. At least they did last year. The hot dogs are scrumptious. There's a ball that's hit pretty well in center field. Fredette backpedaling, looking up, and he'll make the catch. Well, he had to come on in for 2, and he makes that put out with an athletic play going back towards the center field wall, but quite a distance away from all that as Molesky gave it a decent ride. So in the inning, no runs. You had the 1 hit. There were no errors, and you have 1 runner left on base. We're back with the bottom of 3, and your score right here, it's tied at 1, Jewett City and Bristol.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
Coming right back here as Plantamuro will lead things off. Singleton scored back in the first inning, had a terrific at bat. Really made Bryce Molesky work. I believe his pitch count up over 40. And we'll get that rectified for you and find out. You got Fredette and Goulet to follow. So 1, 2, and 3 in the batting order, part of the batting order that did the damage in the first inning for Bristol. Each team with a pair of hits. There's only been 1 error that was committed by Jewett City. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error for Jewett City. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors for Bristol thus far. Molesky now going second time through the batting order. But DeMuro, a lot of speed if he gets on base. Certainly a threat to steal. Molesky, the right-hander's pitch, and that's down low, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. So Noah really doing a great job as a leadoff hitter in reflection that first at bat. And now he's ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Looks like he's very patient at the plate. Attending Eastern Connecticut. Beautiful ball facility out at Eastern Connecticut. Into the windup, Molesky offering up high. Count goes 3-1. You don't want to walk this guy. You're only asking for trouble. Of course, Bristol has had some historic moments in the past here at this ballpark. A few years back, didn't even qualify for the American Legion State Tournament in Connecticut, and won a Northeast Regional as a host team. Historic fashion, and DeMuro draws a leadoff walk. So for the second inning in the contest, Bristol is enjoying a leadoff runner, and it brings to the plate Fredette. Fredette with a bunt on with 2 strikes back in the first, put it down the first base side. Molesky just couldn't pick it up. He fumbled it around a little bit, and everybody's safe. And Fredette reached on the error. He was bunting. He was bunting to get on, I believe. Runner will go. Strike call, throw on down, not in time. That's a stolen base, 13 of the season. The ball scoots into center field. Plantamiro gets up and scrambles to the bag at third. Babinski, the center fielder, came in and fielded it, backing up the play, but Plantamiro does a terrific job. So stolen base, E6. Now you got a runner all the way to the bag at third. Fredette behind the count, 0-1. Infield will come in at the corners. They're shallow at both shortstop and second base, but not all the way in. 1-1 you score here in the bottom of the third. Fredette, swing and a miss, just needs to get the ball to the outfield, and most likely a run will come on home. Got Goulet in the on-deck circle, and there'll be a conversation on the mound as Molesky will have a chat with his coaching staff. Plantamiro will walk to get on here. Plantamiro then stole a base, a throw into the outfield off the shortstop. He scrambled all the way to third. He popped up quickly. There was certainly no indecision on his part. As the long conversation continues, plate umpire is going to go out and break things up here in a moment. So the count is 0-2 with Corey Fredette. Fredette with 9 RBIs. Looking for number 10 in the season. The pitch to the plate, and he drives that ball to the right fielder. It's caught by Max Gregory, and the tag on home, beating the throw. Plantamiro, and that's another run. So the stolen base with the error sets it all up, and Fredette with a sac fly and an RBI. And Bristol has opened up a 1-run lead here at 2-1 in the bottom of the third inning. So 2-1 Bristol. Here's Goulet to the plate. Laid down a sacrifice bunt back in the first that pushed Plantamiro into scoring position on that sac fly off the bat of Green in the first. So a little small ball execution by Bristol has been brilliant thus far with a little help. A couple of errors by Jewett City. One in the first, one in the third. Molesky looking in for the sign from Bryce Doyle. Outfield straight away. And the pitch. Belted foul down the third base side. That ball hit hard in the left field, drops in front of Espinoza, and Goulet comes up with a 1-2 single. That's their third hit of the game, and now with one out, they got a runner at first, looking to extend their one-run advantage. Runner goes, throw low and away, and stealing the base is Goulet. Doyle's throw tailed high off to the second base side, so Goulet scampering into scoring position here. And Bristol trying to be aggressive on the base paths right now. That is the 11th stolen base of the season for Goulet. So Green with the count 0-1. That was a strike call. At the plate, had a sac fly and an RBI back in the first inning. And he drives that ball to the left fielder, and boy, that was turning away from Espinoza. Espinoza was angling towards the infield and towards left center, and that ball was sailing away, had a lot of spin on it, but it was able to recover and make a nice one-handed catch there. If he was catching with that glove on the left hand, he was in big trouble on that one, but instead he makes the athletic play, and they have two down. He'll lead to the plate, lined sharply to the second baseman his first time. Here in the third, and the pitch to the plate. Over there for the strike call, Nohilly. 0 for 1 here today. Got Bouchard in the on-deck circle. Running the first, one here in the third for Bristol. Molesky the pitch, runner's gonna go, pitch high and outside, no throw. Doyle didn't throw it, third baseman Galoo was there, and he decided not to throw, and that's a stolen base. So Goulet has stolen 2 bases here. He singled to get on, took second, now just stole third. A lot of ways you can score from the bag at third with 2 outs, and Bristol is just up their percentages a tad here. Hilly awaits the 1-1. Waves at that one. The count goes 1 ball and 2 strikes. They would love to get a 2-run lead for Trevor Mays. Molesky, of course, has other thoughts out in the mound. Bryce with a long look in. He's a deliberate pitcher. Into the windup now. And the 1-2. He got him, struck him out. That's his second strikeout of the game, but the damage is done. 1 run will score. That walk certainly hurts. A stolen base helping things out here along with an error in the inning. So 1 run on the 1 hit. There was an error, and 1 runner left on the base paths. We'll be back with the top of inning number 4. Bristol on top by 1 run.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
the American Legion. We're veterans serving America.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million.
We'll break away and come on back to those important messages from American Legion Baseball as we move on to the top of the fourth here. And Max Gregory leading it off. RBI base hit to his credit. He is 1 for 1 today against Trevor Mays. Mays working with a 1-run lead for the first time. He gave up a run in the first, so he hasn't had the comfort of being on top. Now he does here on the top of the fourth inning. Gregory, Espinoza, and Galoo, the scheduled hitters. Or Gallo, perhaps, might be the best way to put it. Outfield just about straight away. Paul LaFleur would know. He's got that French last name. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Hit very high up in the air. It's shallow left field. Coming on the left fielder, and Di Loretto on his home turf here will put it away. And Gregory retired on a fly ball. That is the 4th consecutive fly ball out by Jewett City here. 1 strikeout in the game for Trevor Mays. Espinoza to the plate with one of those fly ball outs to the center fielder. They've hit 4 fly balls to the center fielder, now 1 to left. That pitch, twisting foul, high up in the air. Over there, nearly making a play was Goulet, the third baseman. Gave it a nice effort. Count quickly goes 0-1. North Haven continues to lead Stamford out of town by the score of 5-0. North Haven holds on. They would force an if game versus Stamford at Cubetta. And the 0-1, we have that ball driven high and deep down the right field line. It's going to carry all the way to the wall. In the second goes Espinoza. Here comes a throw, and he chugs into the bag safely with a double. He gave it a good ride, didn't he? For a second, I thought it had a chance. But Espinoza into the bag at second. That's a 1-out double and the 3rd hit of the game for Jewett City. So now they have a runner in scoring position.
First baseman number 3, Nick Gillo.
Nick Gillo coming up to the plate. I like that. See, I knew he had a little flair for it. Gillo, the 3rd baseman, grounded out 6-3 his first time, swinging strike there. The count goes 0-1. Mays has given up a base hit in the first. He gave up a base hit in the 3rd inning, and now his first extra base hit given up, and that's now on the stat sheet of Espinoza, who leans away from the bag at second. The 0-1 cracked up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Charging the ball is Fredette. They'll stop the runner. Espinoza at the bag at 3rd. With 1 out, they got him on the corners now. Well, second time through in the middle of that batting order, doing a nice job now for Jewett City against Trevor Mays. As they put a little pressure on, trailing by a run at 2-1. Yanovich to the plate, grounded out 4-3 his first time. Below with the bag at first, at 3rd Espinoza. And I believe we're going to see a pinch runner come on. Indeed we will. Of course, they do have re-entry now. American Legion play. Jonathan's not going on to pinch run. For Espinoza. Yanovich up in a big spot here with 1 out. Runners on the corners. That's a strike call over the outside part of the plate. Mays would love to punch 1 out here. Only has 1 strikeout in his collection of strikeouts here today. Yeah, 0-1. He leans in for the sign, does Trevor Mays. Gillo does not go from first. The pitch low and away, and the count goes 1 ball and 1 strike. Not with a short lead away from the bag at third. 1-1. Hit on the ground. They're going to send the runner home. Throw will come home. They got him in a pickle now. Sassu will run him on back. Now it's collected by Goulet. Got it on the Mays, the pitcher. In return, the tag is finally made by Plantamuro. So they got it probably to the fastest guy in your team, and he was able to tag him on the backside. Yanovich will end up at second base on the fielder's choice. And Galou. So they're going to go 2-1-5. 25216, I believe. That sounds like a lottery number. And that is a gigantic out. Still have two scoring in position now for Derek Taylor. Taylor with a strikeout on his resume. Mays quickly gets ahead on the foul ball, 0-1. That was a big, big play there. So it's going to go 5-2-1-6 is going to be the official order on that. Throw down to the bag. Runner got back in time. Well executed there by Bristol. So not nearly escaped all that. He got closer to home than many would think. The Mays pitch. Ball hit high up in the air. Foul territory, first base side. There's no room. So top of the dugout on the first base side, the home of the blue and white cladded Jewett City team. Bryce Doyle in the on-deck circle. Bristol holding on to the 2-1 lead here in the top of the fourth inning. Mays, the 0-2 comes right at him. Missed a little high. He wasn't backing off. Here's the 1-2 pitch, missed outside. Count goes level at 2 balls and 2 strikes, and the number 8 hitter in the lineup for Jewett City, Derek Taylor. Runners will lead from the bags at second and third. Outfield not playing all that deep and all straight away. The 2-2. That ball hit on a line, takes a hop. Throw from the outfield grass to first, and they got him. They got Taylor, who was not the fastest down the line. What a play there by Bouchard, and Green hustled back and found the base to put his foot on it there and secure for the out. And that's going to go for an interesting 4-3 put out at home in the inning. Somehow Jewett City comes up empty. Will that come back to bite them there? They had all things going in their favor, but no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. They have now stranded 4 in the game. We're back with the bottom of the 4th, and Bristol continues to lead by the score of 2-1.
The American Legion, we're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
the American Legion. We're veterans serving America.
All right, welcome right back as we continue on here into the bottom of inning number 4. 2-1, Bristol with the lead. They scored a run in the first and one in the third. They are the home team here today. Jewett City with just one run in the top of the first inning. Boy, did they threaten in the fourth. They had a runner at third base, and he got caught in a pickle down that third base line and eventually tagged out. And then they had 2 on at second and third when Taylor grounded out, with Bouchard going to the outfield grass and Green scurrying back to the bag to cover there at first to get the out there. So anyhow, will Bristol take control here in the bottom of the fourth. Pitch count for Molesky now up to approximately 60 in the game. Likewise for Trevor Mays of Bristol. This is Bouchard leading things off. Molesky with a long look in. Bryce to deal. The right-hander's pitch to the plate, and that's spoiled off. Foul towards Muzzy Street off to our right. Koski in the on-deck circle for Bristol in the home red uniform tops here today. Bryce Molesky into the windup. Off-speed pitch fooled him. The count goes 1-2. Bouchard with a fly ball out to right his first time. So he's 0 for 1 here today. 305 hitter coming in. Trubisky, the center fielder, providing a big gap in left center field as he shaded towards right center, and that pitch down low, and the count goes level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Molesky's 2-2, ground ball. Yanovich will field at shortstop, onto the bag at first, and that pulled Taylor away. Now they go diving after it, and Bouchard is safe, and that will be an error. Third of the game by Jewett City, and Bristol now with a leadoff runner on. It's the third time in the game they've had a leadoff guy on base, and they've been effective with a leadoff runner here today. Their 2 runs have scored via the leadoff runner. Of course, both times it was Plantamuro, their fastest base runner. So Bouchard now gets a chance to perhaps dance. It's going to be E6 on that error, by the way. McCloskey with a base hit, his first plate appearance. Golay is a threat to steal. He has 10 stolen bases. I should say Boucher for a threat to steal with 7 stolen bases. A little bunt. Molesky will pick it up. Get the out at the bag at first, so Koski does his job with the sacrifice bunt. That puts Bouchard in the scoring position. DiLoretto now stepping in. Alec reached on the fielder's choice back in the second inning. So he's 0 for 1. DiLoretto, 292 hitter with 11 RBIs as a runner in scoring position. Neither team has had a lead larger than 1 here today. Jewett City through a half inning had a 1-0 advantage. That didn't last long. Now Bristol on top 2-1. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Molesky will check the runner down at second. He's going to throw there. Stepping on back was Bouchard. George Etzel covering the bag, the second baseman. Yanovich and Etzel up the middle defensively. Hilo is at the bag at third. Taylor at first. Espinoza, Drabinski, and Gregory in the outfield from left to right. Don't forget about Doyle behind the plate. Molesky's pitch fouled back. The count goes 1 ball and 1 strike here. DiLoretto trying to become an offensive hero for Bristol right now. Sassu scrambling after that loose ball. Go get it. You could hear the gravel under his cleats. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bouchard, 4-step lead away from the bag at second. Again, Edsel shaded towards that base. They're going to come to the plate. The 1-1 hit down the short. He's going to move the runner on the third. Throw across the diamond this time by Yanovich to Taylor's on the money. DiLoretto retired, 6-3. Bouchard now 90 feet away with Sassu to the plate. He's out on strikes, back on the second. He's 0 for 1, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. Up in a good spot here. Sassu batting .280 with just 4 RBIs in the season with Love. RBI number 5. Done a nice job behind the plate today for Bristol. Top of the order on deck. Pitch low and away. Count goes 1 ball and no strikes. There's a possibility of 3 teams from Zone 1 competing in the Super Regional. Of course, Bristol out of Zone 1. Popped up in the infield. Going to be caught there by Yanovich, and that'll do it. So a little bit of a threat put together there, but nothing on the board for Bristol. No runs, no hits. There was 1 error the third of the game by Jewett City, and a runner left on base. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the top of inning number 5. That's all upcoming right here on SportingNewsCT.com.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
Welcome back. Bryce Doyle, the number 9 hitter in the lineup for Jewett City here in the 5th, going up against Trevor Mays. Mays working with a 1-run lead, 1 run on 4 hits and 3 errors for Jewett City here today. For Bristol, 2 runs on 3 hits and no errors. Doyle in the contest 0 for 1 with a fly ball out, and that pitch is over for the strike. Grabinski in the on-deck circle, then Edsel scheduled to follow. That's 9, 1, and 2 in the batting order against Trevor Mays and company. Carson Sassu behind the plate to set the target. Here comes a 1-1, and that's over for the strike call, and the count goes to a ball and 2. What a spectacular day for baseball. We hope you're all enjoying it wherever you're watching. That pitch down low. Get out to enjoy some American Legion baseball somewhere if you can today. A whole slew of games taking place. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So Doyle strikes out. That is the second strikeout of the game for Trevor Mays. And he got one down here to start the top of the 5th inning. And brings up Austin Drabinski, who's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and hit a fly ball out. Mays with a long look in for the sign. Comes right at him. Ground ball hit. Nice hop for Goulet. Good strong throw across the green in time and on a pitch. Drabinski retired 5-3. Second time he's grounded out to the third baseman. Brings up George Etzel. Etzel has walked and singled, so he's been on base twice today. Yeah, action today at 4:30 at Waterford High School, South Windsor in Waterford. Also today, 2 o'clock they started, Tri-Town and West Hartford at Hall High School. RCP in Southington, they'll start play at 4:30 today as that pitch is low and away. That's in Pod C. You're watching the Pod D championship game. In the Southern Division, Danbury and Cheshire get underway at 2 o'clock. Actually, that game might be over as a ground ball. It says Cheshire 10-0 over Danbury. So maybe they started that game earlier than 2 o'clock. But anyhow, looks like that one is over. So Cheshire has moved on to the Super Regional. Many folks feel as though that is the team to beat. That pitch is fouled off by Etzel, and the count quickly goes 1-2 strikes. So it looks like it appears as though Cheshire has stamped their ticket with a 10-0 win. Hamden eliminated Washington yesterday. They're into the Super Regional with a 4-1 win. That ball hit to the hole to the outfield grass. Plantamuro with a long throw over. Got past Green. Backed up by the catcher, Sassu. So Etzel is safe. That will go as a base hit. Plantamuro was just taking a chance, trying to get him there, and taking a chance throwing it across the diamond for some disaster, but that didn't happen. Jewett City now out hitting Bristol 5-3. He brings up to the plate Molesky. Bryce is reaching the fielder's choice, hit a fly ball out. So the pitcher trying to help his own cause with 2 out and 1 on. The hits have been scattered about today. That pitch low and inside to Mays. From Mays, I should say, to Molesky. Trumbull and Naugatuck playing at 3:30 today. Rounding out the schedule. 1-0. Pitch popped up and fouled off. Let's not forget North Haven and Stamford. Game that began at 1 o'clock. North Haven up by the score of 6-0. You can watch that game right here on SportingNewsCT.com along with Naugatuck and Trumbull. Mays stands tall. Right-handers 1-1. That ball hit on a line to center. He's going to fall in for a base hit. Fredette will play it safely. And Etzel moves into scoring position. Molesky with his first base hit of the game. That's consecutive hits now. They have 6 in the contest. So 2 on and 2 out. Max Gregory with the RBI base hit back in the first inning will come up to the plate. Max Gregory, attending Western Connecticut State University, graduated from high school a couple years back from Griswold. We're going to see a pinch runner come on. And that's Jackson Sonat coming on to pitch run for the pitcher Molesky, which is certainly smart move. Actually, the runner at second base, Etzel, so he's coming on for Etzel. Here's the pitch. Strike call. Gregory, the cleanup hitter, up in a huge spot here with 2 on and 2 out in the 5th. He has the RBI base hit against Trevor Mays. Mays will check the runner at first. And now the runner at second. 0-1. Missed down low. Nice stop by Sassu behind the plate. Jewett City team made up of teams from players from Norwich and Griswold, Preston, Wallentown, of course Jewett City. Takes a village, they say. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. Trevor Mays leaning in for the sign from Carson Sassu. And the 2-1 pitch fouled off into the netting on the first base side. Netting wasn't there, would get down towards the concession stand area. By the way, it's open here at Muzzy Field in Bristol, so if this does extend to a second game, bring your dollar bills and enjoy some food here. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out, 2 on. Mays drops the glove. 2-2 pitch. Again, it's spoiled off and foul. Off to our right, went crashing into the rafters, the support beams here at Muzzy Field in Bristol. Paul LaFleur wants that baseball. He buys them. They cost a lot of money. They are not cheap. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. The pitch. Hit high in the air. Left fielder Di Loretto will camp underneath it and make the catch for the inning's final out. It looked majestic when it left the bat, but didn't have much flight left, and it's an easy catch for Di Loretto in the outfield, and that will do it. So no runs. You had 2 consecutive hits. There were no errors and 2 left on base, and Jewett City has now stranded 6 in the contest. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th inning. And it's still a 1-run lead for Bristol as we're back with more after this.
The American Legion. We're veterans serving America. The American Legion. We're veterans serving America.
All right, welcome on back. Top of the order to lead it off for Bristol here in the bottom of inning number 5, clinging to that 1-run lead at 2-1. Molesky is out there still working. Lentamuro today has singled and walked. He has stolen the base, and he has scored 2 runs as a leadoff hitter. He's done a magnificent job there. Fredette and Goulet to follow. This is the part of the batting order, obviously, for Bristol. It's done the damage. It'll be a big task for Bryce Molesky out in the hill now. And the right-hander into the windup. Trying to go all the way here, and that pitch low and away. 1 run on 6 hits and 3 errors for Jewett City, and for Bristol, 2 runs on 3 hits and 0 errors. Into the windup, Molesky. The right-hander's pitch down low. Count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. Molesky coming into this, the 5th inning, well above 60 pitches, and that pitch in there for the strike call. Set in the outfield, Espinoza in left, Rabinski in center field, Gregory the right fielder, all just about straight away. And there's ball 4, Plantamuro on base for the 3rd time. You know he's a threat to steal, the base stealing leader for Bristol. Has a stolen base in this game. Back the 3rd, he stole a base. The throw from the catcher, Doyle, went into the outfield, so he scampered the 3rd. The shortstop actually was given credit for the error, if that is what you want to call it, as it went off the glove of Yanovich. Molesky looking in. Doyle to set the target behind the plate. Big chance for Fredette here. Let's see what he does. Fredette with a sac fly and an RBI out to right field today. He's also reached an error when he laid down a bunt. Molesky just couldn't pick it up and throw it effectively. Just kept slipping out of his hand. This bunt goes first base side. Well, and that's going to go for a base hit. It was hit where they aren't. He had the second baseman wheeling towards second and not first, and the first baseman was going back to the bag there. What do you say, Mac? And Fredette's going to get a base hit out of that. Now you got runners at 1st and 3rd because Plantamuro just scampered all the way along, and Goulet will step up to the plate. Runners in the corners and nobody out, and a chance for Bristol to perhaps break this open. Well, Fredette put that beautifully to the right side and pushed it through them all, didn't he? So Goulet will come to the plate here. Bristol looking for that insurance run. Jewett City with 6 hits now, Bristol with 4. And there's going to be a conversation out in the mound as they will bring the infielders together. Certainly a lot of things that can take place with runners at 1st and 3rd and nobody out. While they do that, we'll take just a 15-second break. We'll be right back. Actually, a 30-second break. We'll be right back.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Well, they're certainly having a long conversation out on the mound. It's lasted over 30 seconds, I can tell you that. And plate umpires now thinking, I'm going to get hungry in a little bit here. I'm going to go out there and break these guys up. So Cheshire played yesterday with the rain and heat and things like that over the last couple of days. The schedule got a little mixed up. So Cheshire is already on to the Super Regional, by the way. They'll play at Seppa Field along with Hamden. That's been decided. It'll either be North Haven or Stamford to join them, and Trumbull and Naugatuck. All that to be decided here today. In the north, South Windsor and Waterford will decide things tonight. Tri-Town and West Hartford get underway at 2 o'clock. RCP and Southington, certainly interesting matchups. If we had a great internet connection in Southington, we'd probably go there for some later games, but that's impossible there. Tomahawk by Goulet. And the count quickly goes 0-1. So the long conversation, and Molesky and company, they got their defensive strategy down. The strategy may include, please get a strikeout. Got runners on the corners with nobody down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Molesky looking in for the sign from Doyle again. Outfield straightaway, middle infield is both shaded, a step towards the bag at second. That pitch inside looked like Molesky was trying to turn one over the inside corner, didn't get the break he was looking for, in the count 1-1. Ryan Green on deck. Goulet represents the number 3 hitter in the lineup. He has a base hit and a sacrifice bunt here today. Also has speed when he gets on, has a stolen base, so he's been effective. Molesky, who's worked deliberately all day long, continues to do so. And here comes the 1-1. Missed outside. The dust coming out of the catcher's mitt of Bryce Doyle. Two balls and 1 strike now. Molesky again will take a peek at the runner at first. That's Fredette. Plemuro at the bag at third. That ball hit high, rather deep. Drabinski going back on his horse. Oh, he can't catch it. He had it just momentarily. And then the ball squirted out of his glove. Let's see what they rule here now. It's going to be a base hit. Wow, he nearly made a magnificent catch. What an effort by Drabinski. That was well done. It's going to go as a single. Muro will score. And Goulet is just going to get a long single out of that, an RBI. That held up Fredette at the bag at second. What a heck of an effort put in there by Austin Drabinski. That was highlight reel stuff right there. Anyways, whether he dropped it or caught it was a highlight reel thing that just took place. This is Ryan Green to the plate. Sac fly and an RBI. Bristol now with their first 2-run advantage of the contest. Lead at 3-1. Slow roller. Green, a little slow getting out of the box there. Taylor able to win the race there. That would be an interesting race if it was a fair race between those two guys, Taylor and Green, I get a feeling. So 3 unassisted. That is just the first out of the inning. He got the job done. He moved the runners along to second and third. I was going to bring up Joshua Nohili. Nohili today is 0 for 2. He hit it on the nose right at the second baseman back in the first, but that was just a line drive out, and he struck out in the 3rd inning. They're going to bring the infield in around the horn, at least on the right side at first base and second base. Shortstop is back. 3rd baseman is in. Below. 3rd baseman just inside the bag towards the lip of the grass. Now the shortstop, Inovich, will conform to the lip of the infield grass. Nohili looking for a big hit here. It becomes a better hitter, doesn't he, with the infield drawn on in. You got to be aware of the bunt attempt with a 2-run lead. They come down the line at third. It is going to be bunted and popped up and scooped in fair play, and everybody's safe. Below fielded it, couldn't take a chance with that taking a bounce in the foul territory, although from this angle it looked like it had a little funky spin on it, but he short hopped it. You know, Haley's going to get a single out of that, and that's going to load the bases. Each team now with 6 hits in the game. Bouchard will come to the plate. He has reached on an error and hit a fly ball up. With 1 out and the bases loaded and the draw in an infield, there's a lot of field out there right now. Bouchard, the 2nd baseman, trying to break this game open. Swing and a miss. He was fooled on that pitch by Molesky. Nice stop by Doyle, by the way, behind the plate. Nobody has put up a crooked number in this contest. Single runs up on the scoreboard here at Muzzy Field. Scoreboard hangs above the right field fence here at Muzzy. Molesky's pitch met a ball outside. The count goes 1-1 to Molesky. I should say to Bouchard. Evan Bouchard, the second baseman. Bryce Molesky feeling the heat right now. Infield is in around the horn. Outfield moved in a step or two. Runners in all the bags and red uniforms out there for Bristol. 1-1. Doyle, a nice stop on the backhand side. Had to go get it. Plantamuro has scored here in the inning. He scored for the third time. Leadoff hitter has found a way on via walk twice and a base hit, and each time it's led off an inning, and each time he's scored. And as a result, Bristol with a 2-run lead at this moment. Time has been called. Molesky, who works deliberately, was ready to throw. He looked like he was a little bit disappointed that time had been offered. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, bases loaded. Swing and a miss. The count goes level at 2-2. Used a curveball right there on Bouchard. We're in the 5th. And here comes a 2-2 pitch. Ball popped up in the foul play. Taylor is over. Will he catch it? No, and he'll spill on the gravel over there. Gave it a good effort. You know, probably the best thing was not to catch that, because his back was the home plate. It would have been a very difficult play to try to get Fredette, as he could tag on that. Count remains 2-2 to Evan Bouchard. Bukowski in the on-deck circle. Molesky's 2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That's just what the doctor ordered. So now you got 2 down. Bukowski stepping up to the plate. Steven today is singled and laid down a sacrifice bunt. So Wachowski must come up with a base hit to bring home a run. Of course, an error and things like that would work, but and why not? Jewett City has committed 3 errors here in the game. Bristol looking for more. They lead it by 2. Infield can relax now. Bryce Molesky's pitch. Dumps it in for the strike. The runner caught way off the back at second. It was Goulet. Went to a sliding stop. He was almost a third, or at least 3/4 of the way there. Lost his footing, but there was no throw by Doyle, the catcher. Here comes a runner home. The throw and safe. He stole home. Doyle is protesting that he made the tag on him. They saw him coming. Molesky threw it inside. The batter vacated. Doyle had a clean shot at it. He felt as though he got him, and we'll keep our opinion in the booth to ourselves. Right now, the run's up on the board on a steal of home by Fredette. Well, a couple of folks up here agree. What I probably saw too, that perhaps he didn't make it home. Molesky threw it with some authority, and Doyle slapped a tag away from home up the third base side. And there'll be some conversation about this. And, you know, they're not going to change his mind. 4-1 will be the lead. That's going to be a steal of home for Fredette on a very close play. Let's just put it that way. So we've had a couple of interesting plays here in this contest. And that might have been the biggest decision by the plate umpire here today, other than, well, yeah, it must be. Runners now at second and third, by the way. And the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. 4-1 your score. The pitch is fouled back, and the count goes to 1-2. So Bristol now with a 3-run lead on a controversial steal of home by Fredette. I thought he might ring him up, but he didn't. Plate umpires have been around this game for a long, long time. Here comes the pitch, and that's a little high. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Loretto in the on-deck circle. Still no wind to speak of at all here in Bristol today. Just a pristine afternoon. 2-2. Count goes full 3-2. You know, instead of that being a huge spark, cutting down Fredette, trying to steal home for Jewett City, and in the dugout now and swinging the bat, now they got to overcome a 3-run deficit and feel some disappointment here. How will they react to that when they get to the plate? How do they react right now? Here comes a 3-2, and that's a little high. That's ball 4, and that's going to reload the bases. Pitch count for Molesky's got to be getting up there now. Remember, his limit is 105. Goulet is at the bag at third. Nohili at the bag at second. Orkowski just took over at first. Two runs and 3 hits here in the inning. We'll see a pinch runner come on for Orkowski. Loretti will come on to run. So Loretti, Kyle will take over at first, gives him some speed. Di Loretto now at the plate. Alec today has reached on the field his choice and grounded out. Number 8 hitter in the lineup. That pitch, strike call in the outside corner. Di Loretto rather now needs, you know, he knows he needs to swing the bat after that strike call. Di Loretto digging back in. Molesky. The pitch cracked into left field for a base hit. 1 run will score. They'll send another. Espinosa's throw is going to be cut off in the infield, and 2 more up on the board. Goulet scores easily. Nohili from second, equally as fast. Di Loretto with an 2 RBI base hit. He still got runners at first and second with 2 down. And Bristol has opened up a 6-1 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. That brings up Carson Sassu, the catcher. Sassu has struck out and popped up the shortstop here this afternoon. Molesky's pitch to the plate. That missed outside for a ball. Hamden and Cheshire have stamped tickets to the Super Regional. They did that yesterday. Everything else will be decided over the next few hours. Pitch hit high in the air and fouled off. RCP and Southington underway at 4:30 today. North Haven and Stamford, they started at 1 o'clock. Of course, you got South Windsor at Waterford, Tri-Town and West Hartford going at it. And if we hadn't mentioned RCP and Southington. The pitch flared in the right field for a base hit, charged by Max Gregory. They're sending the runner. Here comes a throw. Offline, hops over the catcher Doyle. And they'll put brakes on a whole few. Another run is up on the board. Already scores from the bag at second. Di Loretto all the way to the bag at third. Sassu goes the opposite way with an RBI base hit. Now a 7-1 lead. Muro coming up for the second time in the game here, so he's a 10th batter to come to the plate in the inning as they put up a big crooked number 5 now on the board, and they lead at 7-1. For Bristol, 7 runs on 8 hits and no errors, and for Jewett City, 1 run on 6 hits and 3 errors. Game slowing down now. Runners at second and third. Sassu took second on that throw home. Loretto, of course, went to third base, and we're going to see a pitching change here as Molesky's afternoon will come to a close. He gave up the 7 runs on 8 hits. There were 3 errors behind him, so he didn't get the defense he was looking for. He was part of that cause, too, as he committed an error, but quite an effort as he hangs ahead and comes on over, and he'll come out of the ball game. We'll take a break. We'll be back.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
All right, Jake Crowley has come on the pitch, and the pitcher has moved out to left field, so Molesky is on, and Espinoza has potentially gone somewhere else, so he's out of the game. So Espinoza is out. Molesky will take over in left, and Crowley will come on the pitch here. He's going to face Muro again. Up for the 4th time, 2nd time here in the 5th inning. He walked to start the inning and scored his 3rd run of the game. 7-1 your score. Jewett City in the field. Bristol at the plate here in the bottom of the 5th with that sizable advantage. 7 runs on 8 hits, no errors. 1 run, 6 hits, and 3 errors for Jewett City. Out of town, 7-0 lead for North Haven over Stamford. So it looks like they're going to go to the if game as that game is into the bottom of the 7th inning. Stamford, the home team, North Haven for the back end game. The If game will be the home team. That could be significant. Steve Riley is streaming Trumbull and Naugatuck. He's got the stream up in live. Game about 25 minutes away. Crowley's pitch. Behind here and foul down the right field side. There's still more activity in that Jewett City bullpen. And the pitch up high. Count goes 3 balls and 1 strike here. Noah has had a penchant to get on base today, hasn't he? Single and a couple of walks. Here comes the 3-1. Over for the strike, and the count goes full at 3-2. Runners at second and third base with 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It has been a huge 5th inning. 10 batters now to the plate for Bristol to break it open with the crooked number 5 up on the wall. Here it comes. Hit hard. Past the second baseman, Etzel. 1 will score. 2 will score. Plantamuro digging for 2, and he'll slide in with a 2-run double. DiLoretto scored easily along with Sassu. And that's like a basketball 2-pointer right there. And the lead now up to 9-1. And Corey Fredette will now step in. So 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Crowley checks the runner at second. Here comes the pitch to the plate, and that ball hit high up into the air to the left fielder. Valesky will come on, and he'll look up, and he'll make the catch, and that will finally end it. 11 to the plate, 7 go up on the board. A couple of key hits. Plantamuro with a 2-run double a moment ago. Goulet with an RBI base hit. Sassu with a big RBI base hit in the inning. We're back with the top of inning number 6, and right now Bristol in command and looking like they're moving on to the Super Regional, but there's still baseball left.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
The American Legion. We're veterans serving America.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's.
All right, welcome right back, and leading things off will be Espinoza. So Espinoza remains in the game. He must have gone somewhere, somehow. Nobody knows where he went. He started in left field, but it looked like the starting pitcher, Molesky, taken over when he was taken off the hill, off the bump. And well, anyways, Espinoza's at the plate. Had a double back in the 4th inning. Trevor Mays remains on the mound. His game to win. He's on top 9-1. Now just a little maintenance work here in the 6th and the 7th. And he'll pitch Bristol to the Super Regional. They will play at Rotary Field in South Windsor, where they have a very good concession stand. Hint, hint for all you fans who'll be heading there. Down goes 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Espinoza. Gillo in the on-deck circle. And the pitch down low. The steal of home. Very decisive perhaps in the outcome of this game. And despite the 9-1 score, let's see how Jewett City reacts to the decision of a safe at home on the steal of home, and is ball 4. So they show some patience at the plate, and they got a base runner on. And Gillo will step up to the plate now. He's got a base hit in 2 tries. Pitch to the plate, and Gillo hits it in the left field for a base hit. His second of the contest. Hit that solidly, and he got runners at first and second. So no quitting this Jewett City team. They're in a must-win situation if they want to force an if game. They got a long way to come back here. Down by 8 runs. Yanovich to the plate. Reach on the fielder's choice is bounded out 4-3. Loretto remains in left, Fredette in center. Now Hilly the right fielder defensively for Bristol. Pitch in there for the strike. Middle infielders. Bouchard at second. Plantamuro at the shortstop spot. Goulet and Green man third and first respectively, with Sassu remaining behind the plate. So no changes for Bristol. Trevor Mays, a bit over 70 pitches coming into this inning. There's a ground ball hit slowly. Bouchard going for the tag. Everybody's going to be safe, so it's baseball. That's what happens. He wanted to put a tag. He was anxious to get a double play, and it ended up with no play. That's an error, E4. Got to get the shore out. They didn't that time, and that's going to bring the coaching staff out of the dugout. And a quick chat here with Trevor Mays. Now for Jewett City, their only run came way back in the first. Now they're threatening with 3 on a walk, single, and an error.
You got the calls out in the field.
Well, they scored a run the first with 1 out, a walk to Etzel. Fielder's choice put Molesky on in place of. He took second on a wild pitch, and the RBI single by Max Gregory. From that point on, they have struggled to put forth a good offensive effort here and put runs up on the board. It's been all goose eggs ever since, as Trevor Mays has tamed them enough. Mays did have a 1-2-3 inning in the second. This is Drew Taylor scheduled to swing, and we will see a pinch hitter in his place. So it's Drew Taylor that came out of the ball game, and Crowley will hit in that spot there. So that's what they're going to do. So the assumption is that they took Espinoza and they put him at first base. A pitch down low. So Crowley up here for the first time. Bases loaded, nobody out. Chance for Jewett City to nibble away at that deficit. Pitch is popped up and fouled off. Remember, Jewett City had a runner in a pickle at the bag at third and was out, and then you had the steal of home with a controversial safe call for Bristol's favor. So little things adding up. Count goes to 1-2. Mays, a right-hander. Pitch lofted high here in the foul territory. No chance for anybody to get to it. No Hilly or Green. So the count of ball and 2 strikes to Crowley. Crowley the pitcher right now. Trevor Mays looking in. Checks a runner at first. They're all over the place right now. The bases are loaded. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase one up high. And that is a vital strikeout for Trevor Mays. He hasn't had many here today. That's just his 3rd. But that comes at a good time. Brings up Bryce Doyle, one of the strikeout victims, who's 0 for 2. So Doyle will dig in. Hit a fly ball to center. And also struck out here today. Struck out in the 5th. This game started at about 1 o'clock, so it's nearly 2 hours and 15 minutes in length. Mays pitch up high. Sassu remains behind the plate. He's been there the entire game, catching the balls and strikes from Trevor Mays. High fastball, swing and a miss. Doyle may have chased one out of the strike zone right there. Count 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Mays with a nod of the head. And that little motion perhaps had Bryce Doyle thinking timeout. Now he'll dig back in, try to disrupt the flow a little. Now Mays from the belt. Ground ball, scooped up. They'll get the out the bag at second and a throw to first, and just safe over there was Doyle. Slipping down was Bouchard when he tried to anchor his back leg to make that strong throw. So they'll score a run. Espinoza will cross. Gillo will go to the bag at 3rd. Yanovich is forced out 6-4. Fielder's choice. RBI for Doyle. So now you got 2 out, 9-2 game. Here on the top of the 6th. Drabinsky to the plate. He's a leadoff hitter, 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice, hit a fly ball out. Runners on the corners with 2 down. Well, the bases were loaded with nobody out, and now 2 out. That strikeout was huge. Count goes to 2 balls and no strike. Etzel in the on deck circle. It is a final. North Haven over Stanford 7-1, so they have another game upcoming. Two balls, 1 strike to count. Here comes the pitch to the plate. Up high, count goes 3-1. Trevor Mays, pitch to the plate, low and outside, ball 4. That's going to reload the bases. Second walk issued by Mays in the inning, and that's going to be all as they'll come out for the second time. We'll have a pitching change up coming. With that, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
Welcome right back as we continue with our coverage. We've had a pitching change. Trevor Mays is out as he works, 5 2/3 innings. It's his game to win, and coming in a non-save situation here for Bristol. That pitch is fouled straight back. Warkowski. So Warkowski coming on. He was a designated hitter. He's attending Western Connecticut State University. So he's on in relief. Stephen has he's worked some innings. He's making his 10th appearance. He started 6 games, working 42 2/3. So he's certainly got a lot of work. 5 wins and a loss. ERA is well under 1. So Bristol certainly not messing around with a 7-run lead at 9-2. Bases are loaded here, and with a swing of the bat, things are interesting as Etzel will roll one slowly to the outfield grass. Pass a diver Bouchard, and a run will score. And right now, Jewett City chipping away. Gillow scores. Bases remain loaded. That's a 2-run inning put together now. So Etzel with an RBI base hit makes the score 9-3. Molesky now, who started the game as the pitcher, his game to lose, now playing left field, but boy, a swing of the bat here would make things real interesting, wouldn't it? First pitch is in there for the strike call. Jewett City team can be dangerous. They can put up some numbers. 9-3 a score here in the top of the 6th inning. Molesky is the 8th batter to come to the plate in the inning. And trying to match the 7 runs put up on the board in the bottom of the 5th by Bristol. Trevor Mays working 5 2/3 effective innings. They started to get to him here in the top of the 6th. Ground ball up the middle, going to be fielded, and the touch of the bag by Plantamuro and that'll do it on the force out there. But some damage is done. 2 runs put up on the board to make it 9-3. And a little more interesting is 8 go to the plate. Big hit by Etzel brought home a run in the frame. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back with more. The bottom of the 6th right after this.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
The American Legion. We're veterans serving America.
All right, welcome right back as we come on back here to the bottom of the 6th inning. And a 9-3 Bristol lead over Jewett City. A new pitcher out there. Crowley actually came on in the bottom of the 5th inning in relief of Bryce Molesky, who is now playing left field for this Jewett City team. Espinoza has moved from left field to first base, and Derek Taylor has come out of the lineup with the pitching change, and Crowley coming on. He's facing McGregor Goulet here for the first time here in the bottom of the 6th. Big 7-run 5th inning, the difference maker thus far. Although Jewett City still has 3 offensive outs remaining in the top of the 7th inning. There's Crowley. Tips the cap, and now he's ready to deal. Goulet today all against Molesky. Laid down sacrifice bunt, has 2 singles and an RBI, and a run scored. First pitch down low and away, ball 1. Goulet, Green, and Hilly, the scheduled hitters here for Bristol in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch is going to go all the way to the backstop. Got a NIF game between North Haven and Stamford coming your way in just a bit. Aiden Blank and company will be on the call of that one for us. Steve Riley will have Naugatuck and Trumbull. That game scheduled to start in just a couple of minutes. Of course, a slew of other games taking place all over the state. South Windsor taking on Waterford down at Waterford High School. RCP in Southington at Southington High School. That should be a great matchup there, just to name a couple. Pitch in there for the strike call. Count goes 3-1 to Goulet. Crowley is ready, and the pitch. Ground ball hit the 3rd. Gilo will field it onto the bag at first. They get the out, so Goulet retired. 5-3 if you'd like to score that stuff at home. Brings up Ryan Green. Green with a sac fly RBI. Officially 0 for 2 with the RBI here today. Ryan Green, the first baseman. Crowley's pitch. Got it in there for the strike. Molesky in left field, Drabinski in center, Gregory the right fielder defensively as of now for Jewett City. Espinoza, Etzel on the right side of the infield, and Yanovich at short. Gillo, who fields it there nicely and gets it across to Diamond, having a busy half inning with his second assist. And of course you have Bryce Doyle behind the plate. 2 down here at the bottom of the 6th inning. Hope you've enjoyed the action today. We certainly have. Noilly now stepping up to the plate. He has singled in 3, tried and scored, did all that back in the 5th inning. Pitch missed outside for a ball. For Jewett City, 1 run in the 1st. They added 2 in the 6th. For Bristol, 1 in the 1st. They scored a run to 3rd to take a 2-1 lead, then added 7 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Things just went miserably for Jewett City, didn't it? Here's the pitch to the plate. Swing. And a miss. So the count at 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, and nobody on the base paths. Babe Ruth once played here at Muzzy Field. Jimmy Rice, Freddie Lynn. Just to name a few of the outstanding Red Sox ball players back in the minor league days for the Red Sox here in Bristol. Crowley to deal it. Here comes a 2-1. Down and inside. Count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. You got Bouchard in the on deck circle. (3-1). That's fouled off. Looking ahead, got the middle of the batting order for Jewett City scheduled. Gregory, Espinoza, and Gillo scheduled to swing. Count full, 3-2 now to Noilly. Time has been requested and granted. Count at 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. The pitch to the plate, and that's ball 4. So now 2 out base runner for Evan Bouchard. Bouchard reached on an error back on the 4th. On that, he struck out and hit a fly ball out. So Bouchard with a runner at first and 2 down. This game is slowing down to a snail's pace right now. The Crowley pitch, up high, ball 1. Bristol in this Pod D with a win over East Hartford, 5-4. I believe it was a walk-off, bases loaded walk, wasn't it? They won the first game here in Pod D, and they put up 11 in a win over Jewett City. That earned them a day or 2 off. Jewett City had to win last night over East Hartford by the score of 3-2. Held them off with a big defensive play in the 7th inning. Game was actually played at Holy Cross in Worcester, not too far from Jewett City. Beautiful ballpark. Will be the home of the Northeast Regional, I think, for the 3rd or 4th consecutive year. Long time now. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Massachusetts did play their high school state championship games there, but did not this season for some reason. They were at La Latcher and other facilities in Lowell, Massachusetts. Bouchard even in the count, 2-2 with the pitcher Crowley. Noilly with a short lead away from that bag at first. Runner will go 2-2 high and count now full 3-2. Three balls, two strikes with two outs, and the pitch is a strike three to Bouchard. All right, that's going to do it. We're back with the top of 7, and Bristol 3 outs away from a visit to the Super Regional in beautiful South Windsor. We'll be right back after this.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
Not only have I learned a lot of speaking skills,
Meeting these 50 other incredibly talented people,
But most of all, I think you learn a lot about yourself.
you're able to grow in so many ways.
Learning about public speaking.
you also gain a tremendous amount of friendships.
It's a nice bonus.
That's definitely a plus, I'm not going to lie.
Is definitely something that is on my mind.
It's such a great document.
It guarantees me so many liberties and freedoms.
It's looking out for me.
The significance that I place on voting.
The 8th Amendment, which deals with cruel and unusual punishment.
My comparison of the Constitution to a lens.
Welcome back. Last call here for Jewett City. It will be Max Gregory to lead things off. And believe it or not, for the first time since 2006, if Bristol wins, they move on to the main draw of the American Legion tournament. Although 2008 they were the Northeast Regional champs, but they made the tournament, didn't go too deep in the 2008 tournament. And then as the host of the Northeast Regional, they won the whole thing. That was a very exciting year. Can't believe 2006. It seems like it was just yesterday. I don't know what that means. This is Gregory. Gregory at the plate here is singled, hit a fly ball out, not once but twice. So he's officially 1 for 3. Fouled straight back towards us, and the count goes 2 balls and 1 strike. Markowski on in relief of Trevor Mays. Mays pitched well into the 5th, going 5 2/3. His game to win. Markowski to deal it here. Pitch a little high. DiLoretto remains in left field. Fredette in center. Hilly the right fielder. Pitch popped up off to the right. Sassu with the mask off, but no chance. It's out of play. There has not been much wind at all here at Muzzy Field in Bristol today. The flags beyond the center field wall have not wiggled all that much at all. Flags up on the roof off to our left wiggling a little bit though. Markowski's pitch, and that's going to be ball 4. So he loses Gregory and he becomes a leadoff base runner. Jewett City threatened to put up a big number back in the 6th inning with the bases loaded and nobody out. They did scrape 2 across. Just couldn't ignite a big inning. Trying to match a Bristol 7-run inning in the 5th that broke this game open. Espinosa to the plate is walked, doubled, and hit a fly ball out. So he's 1 for 2. Started the game as the left fielder, now the first baseman. Koski's pitch. That's a strike. Count goes 1-1. Koski would love a double play. He's worked a lot of innings for this Bristol team, 42 and so. L4, their perhaps ace of staff, who's 4-0. He beat this team earlier in the tournament at L4. He's worked 40 innings. Duquette has worked team high 45. Mays came in with 40 innings worked. That ball hit high in the air. Center fielder on his horse, can't get to it as Fredette will field it on a bounce. And now you got runners at first and second. That is the 9th hit of the game for Jewett City. It equals the number put up on the scoreboard by Bristol. Each team with 9 hits in the game. So 2 on, nobody out. And Guillot stepping up to the plate. He's swinging a hot bat over his last couple of plate appearances. He's 2 for 3 with 2 solid singles. Koski's pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. Green, Bouchard, Plantamuro, and Goulet around that infield first, all the way to third. Sassou behind the plate. Count goes 1-1.
You want chicken for supper?
Koski does have a strikeout pitch in 42 innings, 29 strikeouts. That pitch fouled straight back. Count at 1-2. Yanovich in the on-deck circle. Getting to the bottom part of that batting order now for Jewett City. Here's the 1-2. And that's going to be strike 3 on a changeup curveball right there. I think that's what you'd call that, but he fooled him. And Guillot will go back to the dugout. There's one down. Yanovich to the plate. That is the first strikeout. Comes in relief here for Koski. Here in the top of the 7th inning. 1 ball, no strikes now to Yanovich. Derek Taylor, well, he's out of the game. Crowley is in the on-deck circle. And actually might have a pinch hitter on deck. Let's see who we got over there. No, Derek Taylor coming back to swing.
Yeah. Yeah, but hey, this is Cumberland Farms, though.
Corrals directly below us, starting to pick up their conversation down there. Cumberland Farm in the area, I just found out. Where is that? Like to go there. There's a ground ball hit down to short. They get the out at the bag at second and on the first for a game-ending double play. 6-4 and 3. Plantamuro, Bouchard over the green. 6-4 and 3. Winning pitcher will be Trevor Mays as he works 5 2/3 innings. The tough luck loser is Bryce Molesky here today, as he worked a total of 5 innings and then was out of the ball game. Really the star of the game, my estimation, the leadoff guy for Bristol today, Noah Plantamuro, is he got on base 4 times, twice via walk. He doubled single, scored 3 runs, had that 2-run double. Certainly set the table, set the tone for Bristol. They move on to the Super Regional for the first time since 2006, and for Jewett City, their fabulous season will come to a close. That's going to do it right here from Muzzy Field in Bristol, as we have a final score for you. It is Bristol 9 and Jewett City 3. Bristol will next play this weekend at Rotary Field in South Windsor, with an opponent to be determined by later today. That's going to do it, everybody. Special thanks to David Greenleaf here in the box, along with Paul LaFleur, and of course the beautiful city of Bristol for allowing us to sit here in a comfortable location. Your final one more time: Bristol 9, Jewett City 3.